Hi everyone, it's Riya and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be 5 things to know before starting a bullet journal. So the first thing that I found immediately confusing when I started bullet journaling was the words and terminology used. I kept coming across words that made no sense to me when I was watching bullet journal videos on YouTube. At first, I had no idea what a spread was, and if you don't know what it is, it's basically just a page. For example, you might hear someone say, "These are my monthly spreads," and what they're saying is, "These are my pages for the month." An example of a spread is like your diary or your weekly planner or your habit trackers. You're bound to come across words that you don't know the meaning of when you start bullet journaling, so before you start, you should go ahead and find out what some of these words mean, just so that you're on the right track. Secondly, you should be aware of what equipment to use. I started my bullet journal in December 2019 using just a blank page notebook, and now I'm using a lined notebook, so you don't need to go all out and buy fancy supplies. Also, you should know that you don't need any special pens to do bullet journaling. I started off with a pencil, a biro, and some coloured markers, and that's still what I use today. Some main supplies that you might want to use are biros, fine liners, coloured markers, highlighters, felt tips, and any other pens. You may already have these, so you don't need to go out and buy any. Next, you should know that it's okay to make mistakes. In my bullet journal, there are loads of mistakes, and some of them are really big and make the whole page look terrible, and it's really embarrassing. But you should try to ignore that negativity, because making mistakes is a learning curve, especially in creative things like this. You should also try to think about how making mistakes is just a way of showing that you tried, and in a bullet journal, it doesn't matter if things go wrong. The more you practice, the better your bullet journal is going to look. You can see the progress when you flip through your bullet journal, and you can see how you've improved. Another thing that you should know is that you shouldn't be afraid of trying out different fonts, styles, and ways of designing your bullet journal. When I look back through my old bullet journal, everything looks really similar, just in different colours, and that's because I was only using one way of laying out my page, one style of font, and one colour scheme. Whereas now, I am varying the way I lay out my page and trying a bunch of new fonts. Also, if you want some cool font ideas, go check out my fonts and lettering ideas video, which have some of my favourite fonts. Finally, you should be unique. When I'm trying to find a new spread layout idea or theme for the month, I always see these absolutely perfect pages with perfect handwriting, perfect straight lines, perfect colour schemes, and it just looks a bit fake. If you put your own style into your bullet journal, it makes it feel more unique and authentic. Sometimes it looks a lot nicer if you can tell that you've tried to make it your own. Also, I used to copy spreads exactly as I saw them online. But lately I've been either making up my own spreads or looking at someone else's work and from using different ideas from each option that I chose. That probably sounded a bit confusing, but what I meant is that if you're going to copy someone else's design, at least change it up a bit and try to make it your own. So that's it for this video, and those are the 5 things that I think you should know before starting a bullet journal. Thank you for watching this video. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe and leave a comment down below. I'll see you next week. Bye! That it's okay to make mistakes. In my bullet journal, there are so many mistakes, and some of them are huge and make the whole page look horrible. It's really embarrassing. But you should try to ignore that negativity, because making mistakes is a learning curve. What am I saying? Learning curve, not... I'm sorry. Mistakes is a really big learning curve in arty things like this. I don't remember the next line, so I'm gonna have to look. Yep, I messed up the whole thing. Oh well.